with the grandmother. I can't. Um, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into our jump into our show. Uh, the first topic of the night we wanted to talk about was so Paramount Plus had their The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender leaked all over the internet, and people were
It's
able to
crazy.
watch this film prior to it being released on the streamer, and it's caused all sorts of problems. The biggest thing, though, or the biggest news as of late, has been a man, apparently someone in Singapore, was allegedly arrested for leaking the information or leaking the doc, and they're facing up to 7 years in prison and I think $50,000 or whatever in fines. And I'm a little torn on this. Um, from my perspective, I guess being an artist and whatnot, and just like someone who makes content, like having your stuff stolen is never a good feeling. And
Yeah.
having it leaked, especially after the creators were kind of up in arms with Paramount for putting it on the streamer as opposed to putting it in theaters. And
Mhm.
so, with all that hard work and stuff, now you have it just given to Reddit, right? And we know that, and this is not me caping for Paramount, but we know that what can happen with an animated feature is that it can be shelved very easily. We saw this with was it Wild Coyote versus
Versus
Acme,
Acme,
uh,
yeah.
Mhm.
and if it wasn't for Catch Up Entertainment coming to the rescue, we wouldn't have that movie at all, right? And so I can see Paramount being like, you know what, we put a lot of money into this. A sequel might not be on the table considering just the what has happened, right? And while I think a lot of people are still going to watch this on the streamer, it's the perception that's is what they're worried about. Like, if they can perceive that a lot of people didn't watch it because of the leak, that can that can cause some issues, right?
Mhm.
On the flip side, I don't know if he should get 70 years in jail. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I feel like the fine plus the years in jail might be a bit much. Yeah, he did leak something. From what I've read, he got it from someone else, and then he put it on the internet, which is very typical, right? Like, you tell somebody, "Hey, I got something. Keep it to yourself. Don't be sharing it with nobody." And they're like, "Sure." And then just everywhere. And the dude's like, "Fam, what? Why? Why would you do that? I told you to keep it to yourself, right?" So it's kind of on him at the same time. But I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I think that, especially with being Paramount, considering that they have this this big thing going on with WB, that they want to make an example out of this person. And I don't know if that's fair. That's similar to the was it the Nintendo leak that happened years ago, or the Nintendo
Mhm.
issue where they were trying to throw the book at the person. And while I can understand why you'd want to do that, I think the timing and the amount of money that they're asking for might be a bit much for just an average Joe. Then again, he did break the law. But Ash, what do you think about this?
I was gonna say, like, it sounds like Paramount, they share lawyers with Nintendo because Nintendo like ruined that one guy's life. Like, he
Yes.
has to like can pay all kinds of royalties like every month. I think Kotaku some years ago did a story about him, about how he has been utterly crushed under their weight for the things that he was doing, which, you feel like says this is the consequences of your actions, but at the same time it's so outsized. And is it really doing anything? Because we're still pirating that shit anyway. I don't think it's like
Right?
that Nintendo wants it to be. But I it's ridiculous. Like, 7 years in jail, no. $50,000, sure, okay, fine, that makes sense to me. You broke the law in a pretty egregious way.
Mhm.
That's
Right.
a lot of money. Yeah, you probably should pay that, even though you probably will have you'll never be able to pay that off. Jail time, though, seems a bit much for me.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't know, man. Like, are we really going to go this hard about Avatar: The Last Airbender? Y'all didn't care enough about it to put it in theaters. You were never going to make that kind of
Thank
money
you.
anyway. So, like, what? Like, yeah, make your example, but I don't think you have to put him in jail for it. Like,
Yeah,
Right.
especially
is
not
it really
7
worth all
years.
this?
Like,
Was it even good? Like, I'm a big Avatar. I'm a big Avatar: The Last Airbender girly. Like,
Mhm.
I loved that show. Like, that show was my life when it was airing. Zutara Forever, by the way. Like, we're still on that time.
Hello. Thank you.
But like, I saw that they're doing this movie with the aged up characters, and I just couldn't bring myself to really care about it all that much. Like, I'm content with these things being done. That was a great show. It had a great arc, and we got to say goodbye to those characters. We got to see some of them again in Legend of Korra, and that was like a nice little bonus. But I think the smartest thing that Paramount or Nickelodeon ever did was to advance the story with new characters. Yeah, some old characters and the children of characters got to come back, so you got to see like the legacy and the through line, but we weren't like rehashing the shit like they did with like All Grown Up or some shit like that. And so all these years later, I see this new movie with these older characters, and I just can't bring myself to care because I've already closed the book on them. I don't need any more of them. Like, yeah, like, ooh, Zuko is super hot. Like, great. I got fan fiction for that. You know, like we took care of that. Like, I'm good.
Seriously.
So
what about
yeah.
you, Tess?
Agreed. I mean, I just want to know, how do we know that it wasn't an inside job? Like, I'm just saying that they were not going to theatrical release it. And then they were like, yeah, we're going to put it on the streamer. Well, what if you remember how A.Marie leaked her own song?
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Remember how this one thing became a thing?
Time. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just saying, what if somebody said, look, they're screwing us by not letting us go to theaters, screw them back. Hey, I know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. And yeah, put this file here on this. Don't use this VPN.
Well, see, wouldn't that be worse though? Because like, well, I can understand it. Because I know we've talked with when we talked with Jorge Gutierrez about his shows on Netflix, he was saying that if Netflix ever takes them down, that he has backups just in case. But in this sense, it's like he was going to handle it himself, or at the very least in a way that doesn't get him locked up, right?
Right.
If they gave it to someone and be like, yo, go ahead and leak this, and then this person gets caught and they say nothing, it's like, oh, damn, like you get 7 years and I'm just like free and clear. You know what I mean? Like that might be worse than actually him just stealing it from someplace.
I also can't imagine.
That's the truth.
I can't imagine that a significant portion of people actually watched the movie, like streaming. Like, yeah, sure, some people did. Like maybe the diehards did. But like those ways are being lost to us nowadays. Like we don't really care about torrenting anymore. Like you've got your community of diehards that do that stuff. But like really, I can't imagine this major subset of Avatar people are probably around like my age, and they're they're in their 30s. Like, do we do that shit anymore? Do we really care enough to torrent that shit? No.
I didn't even know it was out until we talked about it. I didn't know. It was like, oh, by the way, somebody leaked it.
This was news to me too. So
I was like, what? What is this?
I don't think enough people care about it, which is probably bad for Paramount's bottom line, because I don't think very many people are going to be seeking it out anyway. Not because they already saw it on Reddit or whatever, because it just can't be bothered to care. Like there's been hardly any marketing about it in the first place. Like I didn't know that this was I knew intellectually when it was announced that this was a thing that was happening, but I hadn't seen no trailers about it. Like I didn't know it was coming. Like you weren't telling me about this anyway. Like this is the only time that I've ever heard about this movie because it leaked in the first place.
And that supports my point. See? Just saying.
Maybe
nobody knew about it anyway.
That's definitely a thing. And that's what I was saying about the perception, right? Because if they can say, especially with new people coming in, if they can say, hey, we spent all this money, we're going to put on the streamer, but people, when the numbers come back, they're low. We know that it's low because people don't really care. But they can be like, well, it was leaked and this is why, et cetera, et cetera. And I only said it because I was looking at when it happened with Netflix. I think it was 3 anime that they had. One of them was the new Terminator show. And a lot of them eventually got canceled or something to that effect. And some of the creators were kind of like, it's not on us. And it's hard to prove if this was like a 1-to-1. Because like all the people that would go and watch this, like the crazy amount of people, I don't even think they have Paramount Plus. Like that would be interested. Would Ian have Paramount Plus? You feel me?
Keeping it a buck,
But it's
we
the
shouldn't have
perception.
Paramount Plus anyway with all that shit they're doing with like Larry Ellison and CBS. Like we gave that shit up a long time ago in the first place. So I don't even have Paramount.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Nope. Me neither.
I hope the people who are who actually, you know, slaved over the film get whatever they're supposed to get in terms of, you know, finances. They're not laid off, because I'm pretty sure if this goes through, there's going to be redundancies and, you know, people are going to be let go anyway. So hopefully they, you know, land on their feet.